At the dawn of this new day, we lift our voices in prayer, just as the psalmist did at daybreak, acknowledging that the Lord is our light and our salvation. We declare that this day begins under the presence of God, guided by His word and sustained by His faithful love, as written in the Psalms, where we learn to trust, rest, and wait on the Lord from the very first hours of the morning. In this moment of silence and surrender, we remember the words of the psalm that say, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." Therefore, we place before God everything left behind, every pain, every concern, and every fear, believing that this new day carries renewal, mercy, and grace sufficient to face every challenge that will arise along the way. The psalmist declares that the day and the night belong to the Lord, and for this reason we consecrate every second of this morning into the hands of the Most High. May our thoughts be aligned with His will, may our decisions be guided by His wisdom, and may our steps be firmly established on the rock that is God Himself, as the Psalms teach us about trust and obedience. Just as David sought the Lord early, we declare that this morning is set apart to hear God's voice. May every opposing noise be silenced, may all anxiety be calmed, and may the peace that surpasses all understanding guard the heart and the mind, as the sacred songs remind us that God is a present refuge in times of trouble. In this morning prayer, we affirm that the Lord is our shepherd and we shall not lack. Even in the face of difficult days, we choose to trust, for the Psalms teach us that God prepares a table, anoints the head with oil, and makes the cup overflow for those who trust in Him, bringing security, provision, and rest to the soul from the start of the day. May the mercy of the Lord be renewed over this morning, just as the psalmist declared that God's love endures forever. We surrender our plans, commitments, and responsibilities, trusting that the Lord makes crooked paths straight and transforms uncertainty into testimony, according to His word, revealed in the Psalms that strengthen faith at daybreak. As we begin this day, we declare that the Lord is our shield and fortress. No evil shall prosper, no snare shall prevail, because the Psalms affirm that God guards the coming in and the going out of His people. Thus, this morning is sealed with divine protection, spiritual deliverance, and the certainty that God goes before everything. May every breath this morning be a declaration of gratitude, just as the Psalms teach us to praise at all times. We give thanks for life, for the opportunity to begin again, and for the faithfulness of the Lord, who never fails. This day begins with praise, acknowledgement, and total surrender to the one who reigns forever. The psalmist says that those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion, which cannot be shaken. Therefore we declare emotional stability, spiritual strength, and firmness of faith this morning. May no contrary word have power, and may every doubt be replaced by full trust in the God who sustains and renews. We close this first part of the prayer affirming that the Lord is already at work. Before any human action, God has already prepared this day. As written in the Psalms, we entrust our rest, our mourning, and our hearts to the one who watches over us and never sleeps. As we continue this morning prayer, we remember the words of the psalm that declare that the Lord hears the cry of the righteous. Therefore, we lift our voices with confidence, knowing that God inclines His ear to those who seek Him early. Every word spoken here rises like incense before the throne, filled with faith, hope, and submission to the divine will. The Psalms teach that the Lord knows the human heart. Thus, this morning we place before God everything we cannot express with words. Hidden fears, silent battles, and inner concerns are surrendered to the one who searches and knows, bringing relief, healing, and restoration to the weary soul. We declare, according to the Psalms, that the Lord is a very present help in trouble. If this day begins with challenges, we choose to trust, for God is a safe refuge. May every affliction be transformed into learning, and may every struggle become a testimony of divine faithfulness, operating from the morning onward. Just as the psalmist cried out for direction, we ask the Lord to teach us his ways this morning. May every decision be guided by truth, may every choice be aligned with righteousness, and may the heart remain sensitive to God's voice, as the Psalms reveal the value of walking according to the will of the Most High. In this prayer, we declare that the Lord is the one who fights for us. We do not trust in human strength, but in the name of the Lord of hosts, mentioned in the Psalms as a secure refuge. May every spiritual battle be won, may every opposition be scattered, and may peace reign from the early hours of the day. The psalmist affirms that God is faithful to all his promises. Therefore, this morning we take hold of the words released by the Lord. Everything he has promised will be fulfilled at the appointed time. We rest in this truth and move forward with hearts strengthened by the hope that comes from the Word. May the joy of the Lord be our strength this morning. Even if the situation seems uncertain, we choose to praise, just as the Psalms teach us to exalt God at all times. Praise opens paths, strengthens faith, and prepares the heart to live a day guided by the divine presence. We declare that the Lord renews our strength like the eagle, as the Psalms proclaim. May all weariness be replaced by vigor, may all discouragement give way to hope, and may spiritual zeal be restored to face the day with courage and confidence in the God who sustains. This morning, we affirm that goodness and mercy shall follow us. We do not walk alone, for the Psalms assure us that God accompanies his children on all paths. Wherever we set our feet, the presence of the Lord will go with us, bringing security and peace. We conclude this part of the prayer by declaring that the Lord reigns sovereign. Nothing escapes his control. Nothing happens without his permission. As the Psalms proclaim the greatness of God, we rest in the certainty that this day is completely in the hands of the Most High. As we reach this final moment of the morning prayer, we reaffirm our total dependence on the Lord. Just as the Psalms teach us to commit our way to God, we place this day before his throne, trusting that he will take care of every detail, from the first step to the last moment of this journey. We declare that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, for the Lord is our shield. The Psalms affirm that God guards his people from all evil, and therefore we rest in this promise. May every attempt to steal peace be frustrated, and may the presence of God surround this day from beginning to end. May the Lord bless the work of our hands. As the Psalms declare that God prospers the paths of the righteous, may there be favor, open doors, and wisdom in every task performed. This day is surrendered to God, trusting that he honors those who place him first early in the morning. In this prayer we release forgiveness, just as the Psalms teach us to walk in uprightness before God. May every emotional burden be lifted, and may the heart remain light, free from bitterness, and aligned with the love of the Lord, allowing this day to be lived in peace and communion. We declare that the Lord will teach us to number our days, as written in the Psalms. May this morning be lived with purpose, gratitude, and awareness of God's presence in every detail. May nothing be wasted, and may every moment glorify the name of the Lord. May the word of the Lord be a lamp to our feet and a light to our path this day. The Psalms remind us that God's truth illuminates decisions and protects from error. Thus, we move forward with confidence, guided by the word that sustains, corrects, and strengthens from the morning onward. We affirm that this day will be marked by peace, as the Psalms declare that God grants rest to his children. Even amid busyness, the heart will remain calm, confident, and secure, knowing that the Lord is in control of everything that happens. This morning, we declare that we are kept by the Lord, who neither slumbers nor sleeps. The Psalms remind us that God watches continually. Therefore, we walk without fear, with renewed faith, and with the certainty that divine care accompanies us at every step. May praise remain on our lips throughout this day, just as the Psalms teach us to exalt the name of the Lord continually. May every victory be recognized as grace, and may every challenge be faced with faith and trust in God. We close this morning prayer by thanking the Lord for one more day. Just as the Psalms proclaim gratitude at all times, we declare that this day is already consecrated, protected, and blessed. We move forward confidently, certain that the Lord is with us. Amen.